Guess what I just did? I just recorded a whole introduction to a photo, not to the video setting. It happens. Learn every single day. Today's shout out goes to Tyler. He was the first person to find the hidden link in the question 6 quiz about how to get the next shout out. So, woo woo, good job, Tyler. You guys also should have received, and your parents would have received, a video explaining how to get points. And with those points, you can trade them in for things like shout outs. I'm also looking for other things you guys would be interested in receiving with your points. So please email me and let me know if you have any ideas or suggestions for things that you'd like. Remember, it has to be something that we can use now. Saving it for later just is not going to work. Like, we need some virtual, props, something that we can do. So please go ahead and watch that video, and please email me suggestions if you have any suggestions. Participating in Canvas courses and doing the things that we put on Canvas is how I know that you're out there and that you're participating in the lesson. Part of what I do during this time, since I don't see you every day, is I'm tracking who I'm hearing from and who I'm not hearing from, because the school's interested, like whose families are we reaching and who are we not, and is there a better way we could reach those families? So let me know, guys. First of all, I'm supposed to say, smash that like button. Don't forget to hit subscribe. But anyway, we're going to get into some math. Haven't you been enjoying the decimals compared to the fractions? I know I have. Let's get into today's lesson. All right, here we are with today's lesson, comparing decimals. When we're comparing decimals, we're just trying to figure out which one is bigger. So when we go back and think about like non-decimals for a moment, so I'm just going to, cover this up. When I think about just regular numbers, how do I decide which one is bigger, 54 or 104? I mean, they both have 4, so does that make them equal sized? This one is 0, and that's smaller than 5, so is this one the bigger one because that's 5, and this is a 0 and 4, and that's a 5 and a 4? But we know really that the biggest number is based on the biggest place value. So this has a number in the hundreds place. This number doesn't. So having 100 compared to not having 100 makes this number bigger. Well, shocker, it actually isn't any different when it comes to the decimal end of things. When I'm comparing decimals, I always move through both numbers from the left to the right. So I start at the very number on the left side. These numbers are both in the ones place. These numbers are exactly the same. They are both 6. So currently, right now at this stage, these two numbers are equal. Then I move over to the tenths place, the number right after the decimal. This is a 5 and this is a 0. Okay, so 5 is bigger than 0, so that makes this number bigger than this number. We move through it digit by digit from the left to the right. Okay, here I've got this next number. Starting again in the ones place, they are both 0. After the decimal, the first place is a tenths place. They are both 8. This number has nothing, and this number has 0. But remember, we could represent nothing with a 0. Now that these have the same number of digits, so there's a tenth and a hundredth, there's a tenth and a hundredth, you can see that these are exactly the same. So these two numbers, even though this was written without the 0, is the same as this number that's written with the 0. These two numbers are equal. Come down here to our next number, and we're going to start again, always from the left to the right of the digit. So starting at the very left and comparing space by space. So this is, both of these numbers are in the ones place. Right now they are currently both equal. So I'm going to go over. Here's the tenths place, both of these, and the tenth. Both of the tenths are 0s, so currently still equal. Now I'm moving over to the hundredths place, and here in the hundredths place. This hundredth is 1, this hundredth is 0. If I look again, I have nothing in the thousandths place, and I have a 1 in the thousandths place. So if I filled this missing number with a 0 so that they had the same number of digits, this is 1 which is bigger, but this was already bigger than this. So when you hit the first biggest from the left moving to the right, that's what makes a number bigger. We don't move it backwards. And remember, the farther you go this way, the smaller your number is getting every single time. So if there is a bigger number here, it's still going to be smaller. Okay, so start again. 0 is the same. 0 is the same. 1 is bigger than 0. So that makes this number bigger. Remember, you always compare from left to right, and you always look at the numbers that they have in common. And remember, you're comparing place value, not digits. So even though these both have 4, this one is a 5, which is bigger than 0, but this has 100. 100 is bigger than 50. So that's what makes it bigger. Remember, you're comparing the place value, not the digits. All right. So today's lesson, super simple, is just figuring out which one is bigger or smaller on page 50 in your book. And those are problems 6 through 21. 6 through 21 on page 40 in your book. As always, I'll email it to your parents so you have a copy of it if you need it. Otherwise, you'd be looking in your orange math book on page 40. All right, guys, see you in the next one. Bye.